let's talk about Tipsy Tiger. Let me just tell you, your Picante is just amazing.
Thank you. Thanks a ton.
And it is one of my favorite mixers for sure.
Wow. No, that is literally giving me goosebumps. While we worked very, very hard on it, and we always are very humble about our drinks, but we do feel that we have kind of aced that one. It
I
was
can assure you about that.
so the funny story is that it took us almost 8 or 9 months to develop that particular drink, um, because the picante is a balance of salt, sweetness, spice. So every possible, taste bud that that you have in your
Course.
mouth, it needs to
Right.
activate that, and and it was just so difficult. And in the end, we were able to find a natural jalapeno flavor, but then we had to marry that with jalapeno puree, because jalapeno puree alone was giving you the kick, but then it would give you a reflux as well.
Yeah.
So then we reduced the puree and did these combinations where we thought that okay, this combination probably works. The good thing about mixers is that there is no set recipe. We get this
Right.
asked a lot that, is one bottle enough for two drinks? Is it enough for one or is it enough for three? Like it's your choice.
Yes, of course. So, um, as far as I'm getting, there's a lot of chemical reposit like thinking involved in the process of, developing all the drinks. So, how do you take care of that?
Sorry, as in I didn't understand in terms of chemical, what do you exactly
So,
mean?
I am saying that ideally, the process of Tipsy Tiger is, making cocktails easier at home. That is the proposition for Tipsy Tiger. But then again, like you just mentioned with the picante, there is a lot of chemical, thinking that goes into like you have to be sure about the kind of ingredients you put in. So, what is the process for that when
Right.
you think of a
I
drink?
won't call it like a chemical process, but yes, taste is a huge part of
Yeah.
what drives us as entrepreneurs and what drives our business. And so from a process perspective, first criteria is to identify what is trending in the
Right.
market. You can always go the other way, other approach also, where you say that I'm going to come up with like something completely out of the box, and I'll push that product into the market and I'll see. But usually we tend to fall prey to, what is trending in the market. And like, for example, for the Picante, or for that matter, the orange lemonade that we launched. Both the drinks were very strong trends that were going on in the market, where we saw that citrus drinks do really well, or in mixers generally picante was an absolute rage. Um, so I guess step one is to identify what's going on in the market, and then step two, internally we are a taste first brand. Like we
Right.
don't pick up ready-made recipes from the market. My co-founder Rushil, he is an absolute foodie. So we have like a mini lab. I won't call it a lab, but like our in our office pantry, we have this one corner where Rushil has all his toys, and we are constantly experimenting. So I guess the second stage is that you start figuring out that what are the flavors we try to. So we use juice concentrates or purees in all of our products. Even
Right.
in our carbonated drinks, we they are zero added sugar. They are not zero sugar because we use lemon juice concentrate, orange juice concentrate. So then combining the juice concentrates that we use with good flavors, nothing that would give you that synthetic taste. We don't use any artificial flavors. We don't use any colors, not even natural colors in any of our drinks. So we try to keep them as clean as possible. So, and I guess that kind of gives you uh, that nice new flavor. Like I won't call it fresh. Of course, it's not a freshly made product, but it gives you that refreshing feel when you consume it. So that's stage two, figuring out the flavors and the combinations. And then, of course, we have, designated lab where we figure out, we try the different combinations, do it the proper way. Then we do internal tastings and trials. Once we, shortlist those, then I pick up the phone and I call up all of my friends and my cousins who have younger siblings or younger friends. We call all of them in and we tell them that, all right, guys, we now need you to rip these drinks apart. Tell us that they taste horrible, and what would you like more? So that really helps bring perspective. And to be honest, at that stage, we have like at least twice called off a product. Like we were like that we don't see that this particular beverage or this particular drink you know would
Work in the
yeah,
market.
yeah, it's not
Right.
exciting enough. So
So, tell me that the brand was born initially as a cocktail mixing company, or you were trying to push other kinds of beverages and you just got into this?
it was sort of intentional. We
Yeah.
entered the mixer market to start the business. However,
Right.
our approach was always to be a taste first brand, and we wanted to be a beverage company,
Okay.
like all in all beverage company. However, again, at the time about 3.5 odd years ago when we had launched, mixers were trending as a category,
Right.
and they are still like a huge part of the business, but the larger part of the business is of course soft beverages today for us. But it was kind of intentional where we wanted to build the brand identity around a taste first brand. And
Right.
we had initially thought that it wouldn't be that hard, but it turned out to be really difficult because mix, people who consume cocktails, consumers, they are not first time users. A lot of them were already exposed to some of the best
Cocktails. Yeah.
cocktails that were available in the country. So you have to then match them. And fortunately for us, we like I knew Young Lama. He needs no introduction, and we approached him, and he's like probably India's finest mixologist that we have, and now I guess probably like maybe like the top one of the top mixologists in the world. So he helped
Right.
us. You know, we learned a lot from him, and he
Mhm.
helped us design great flavors. Like we till today we have an orange and kaffir lime mojito. Now, to think that you come up with an orange based beverage, how do you differentiate an orange beverage? And as of today, we have two drinks in our portfolio. In the mixer portfolio, we have an orange and kaffir lime, and then we have a zero added sugar orange lemonade.
Right. Yeah.
Now, how do you differentiate uh, something as regular as an orange flavored drink, or like for that matter, like a lemonade, like we did a fresh lime soda where we did our version of a fresh lime soda. So I guess that was a great learning experience for us. And
Yes.
then soon once we entered the market, we learned a lot of stuff. The soft beverage space is a is a much larger category. They have some of the biggest beverage players that are that you compete against. So yes, so that evolution kind of happened naturally, where we first ventured into tonic water, then we launched a fresh lime soda and a ginger ale. And then along the way, we realized that we cannot be a Me Too product or a Me Too brand. um, our primary aim was to upgrade the everyday soft drinks, without compromising on taste, or without sort of relying on ready-made recipes that are already there. So a ginger ale has like real ginger juice. It like ginger juice is a part of the drink, but it has we use real ginger juice. Now there are not many brands out there in the market that have that approach towards a ginger ale.
Right. So tell me something that your brand is just 3 to 4 years old. And as a young Indian brand, how have you managed to, or what has been your approach to, build trust in the category that you are in? Because when you speak about the products that you have, your ginger ale, your lemonades, or your mixers, there is a Bartizan for that, there's a Schweppes for the ginger ale. So what is your approach to create trust within the brand, for the brand?
Uh, See, that's an ongoing process, I guess.
Right.
So, um, I hope our consumers find trust in us. But I guess the fact that you found me after tasting my picante from the other, 10 picantes out there in the market, um, is 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 something that kind of says that we are probably headed in the right direction. um, and in food, um, trust is kind of important. And right now, with what's going on in the industry, especially the consumer awareness that's at an all-time high.
Right.
So I guess the key is to not try to hide stuff, and be clear about like as much as you possibly can.
Right.
And it depends on the category. Like here, I'm not only talking about Tipsy Tiger or the beverage category. If you are in the healthy food category, then now there are enough number of brands who are creating that awareness about the
Right.
category more than just about their product. If there is, so I guess a clear communication strategy about what's in your product, and like not trying to be too smart about trying to hide stuff. I guess that's one part of it. And then there is another angle, which is a more fun kind of a marketing angle. Like if I saw a man wearing a tiger suit on the street, I would think that that person is highly dodgy. But I honestly, when we speak to a lot of young audience, this kind of works really well for them. And the fact that from a taste perspective, we are there. So uh, if it feels cool, the packaging align the identity aligns with me as an individual. And then when I drink it and I immediately feel that, oh, this is not a Me Too product. My fresh lime soda does not taste like any other drink which is out there in the market. I'm not saying it's the best drink in the market. I am saying that it's an
Different.
individual drink.
Right.
We have not ever copied anybody else's bottle design or sticker design, or strategy out there in the market. So I guess uh, that having that, building that identity, building something that resonates with your thought process, kind of
Right.
automatically at the back of your head builds trust. And of course, the idea is not to sway somebody. The idea is to tell them that, hey, I am here. I don't have all the money in the world to fill up my top of funnel. But if like, consider me. I am for you.
Right. So that proposition works when you start off, right?
Right.
And now that you already have me as a consumer, I have told you that I love your product, and word of mouth works. And with your packaging and with your name, you have kind of created a place in the market. Now, for say building the brand ahead, what will be your approach in the future?
Oh, I guess right now we've not even scratched the tip of the iceberg. Uh, for us, uh, we have a long road ahead of us. We really need to work on reaching out to more consumers. There are so many ways. Of course, there is, social media is a massive sea of opportunities. So see, the tools are out there. There are all sorts of content creators and content ideas and tools that you can use. But I guess from a brand's perspective, you just need to focus on a few of them. Like we are based out of Gurgaon right now. We have limited resources. So for us, for example, last year, actually, in fact, even this year, most of our on-ground marketing efforts, they are focused towards Delhi NCR market as well, because spreading yourselves too thin, um, it always feels very attractive that, oh, there is an event happening in Bombay, let me be a part of it. There is something happening in Bangalore, why don't I do that? So of course social media is there. There is meta marketing that you use to do that. But short term, for us, is to pick smaller pockets,
Right.
focus, build the brand there on ground through events, pop-ups, generate trial, and then, slowly and gradually add a market, maybe every quarter, cover the metros by the year end. It, without over complicating it, that's pretty much what we need to do right now. And I think our product will do the rest of the talking.
Right. Already, you are sitting in Delhi and Gurgaon and creating that product, and I'm here in Bombay. I am a fan of your product. So you have already reached out to me. And I think quick commerce is the way to go. This is a D2C brand, and quick commerce is the way to go. But can you share some numbers or the growth that you have had in the last 4 years?
See, of course, the first 2 years were very, very difficult. While I come from an FMCG background, my co-founder, he's from a hospitality background. Beverages is something that we had not done before. So for us, I guess the approach that we took, where we wanted to be a taste first brand, that that process in itself was we got to learn a lot. We made a lot of mistakes. So I guess trying to fix that took away a lot of time. So we did not see a lot of growth. We wherever we would reach, we saw love, but we did not see a lot of growth in the first couple of years. But then last 2 years, we like last year as compared to the year before, we more than doubled our revenue. And we are hoping to, like, it's very early in the year, the holiday season is, I think we are already, the run in has already started. We're looking to grow at least 3 to 4 times this year. um, Having said that, quick commerce is a tremendous opportunity for young brands. Like I
Right.
said, Bombay or Bangalore could not have been a focus market for us. But one important thing to understand and realize is that a quick commerce or an e-commerce platform is not a platform to build your brand. It's a
Right.
it's a channel that is making my product available. So,
Right.
in order for me to generate that pull is where there which requires equal amount of hard work. So yes, we are very, very optimistic this year. The soft beverage category is has of course now contributing to a huge part of our business, and
Right.
that is going to be our focus. There are some very exciting new things that are coming up in the next 2 or 3 months. So
Right. So for the marketing approach, what I've understood is for now it has been only digital. And when it comes to content creators, it is not something that happened, say, 2 years ago.
yeah.
Today, even that market is very convoluted in the sense of, say, there are numbers involved, there are lots of analytics involved. So when you choose a person to talk about your brand, how do you go about that?
This is so I look after marketing in the team, and
Okay.
this is a fight that I have with my co-founder and the rest of the team all the time. Uh, See, when you are choosing a creator, it's it's unfair to look at the ROI at an immediate level, and I guess why we have not been able to do a lot of that is because um, I guess there is you need to do a certain amount of volume as well that creates an impact. And then to answer your question, how do you go about choosing them? Like, for example, again, not specifically talking about Tipsy Tiger, if I want to um, promote something directly related to health, I would it would automatically make sense to categorize on towards creators who have that trust that we just spoke about and who have that credibility
Right.
in the market. And for me, one very desi tarika of checking out creators' popularity is that I check first. I go to my Instagram. I go and see how many of my friends are actually following them, and
Okay.
then I have 3 or 4 really popular friends who have massive circles. So I tell them that, okay, guys, I'm sending you these 8, 9 profiles. Can you tell me how many people are following these guys? Uh, there's nothing scientific about this, and this is ridiculous. And of course, this is not something you can do at scale. And but it it helps us identify because I would like to believe that Tipsy Tiger is for somebody like me, for somebody like me 10 years ago, for somebody like you now, for somebody like you 10 years ago, and for somebody like you and me 10 years later as well. So um, it's a great filter to see how their popularity is. And of course, like we have like we're a small team, but like we have some bright minds who sit down and do a lot of back end data work and tell us that, okay, these are the views and these are the hits and these are the saves, and these are the things that we need to see.
Right. That's lovely. Now, tell me one thing that you are getting into the beverage market and not just mixers, you're getting into everyday beverages.
Right.
And that is a place where people are now going towards health drinks and, low sugar, what is good for you. So,
Yes.
how do you think? despite your drink being different from everybody else, how do you handle the better for you proposition?
Uh, See, I guess we are a part of it. We um the if you look at it from another perspective, uh, our our cohort or our audience, they have pretty much upgraded their choices in every category, from eating out to now living in Gurgaon. I know a lot of people who now call for mineral water to their house because they don't trust the quality of the water, etc. So what I'm saying, that everything like the instant coffee is of course, there at everybody's house, but then everyone is drinking better coffee, everyone is eating better. Are like I would nobody like everyone I know is buying antibiotic free chicken from all the best of the brands, etc. So every category has seen this transition. However, soft beverages is something that has been heavily commoditized, and and I guess there has always been that price anchoring कि ये तो 10 रुपए की चीज है. And
Correct.
and that might be true for the masses. And I guess in that process, uh, and in the process of that race for distribution, which we see, and there is nothing wrong with any of these things, but in that process, I guess formulation and taste kind of took a back seat. So I alone cannot change that behavior, but there is a tailwind where consumers are making smarter choices, they are more informed. So I'm not upgrading, I'm not sorry, I'm not changing the behavior, I'm just being a part of the upgraded choices. I'm telling them that, hey, you are making smarter choices, and I am here. Why are you what else are you looking for? So I'm not sure if I've been able to answer this question properly, but if you have a follow-up question, please let me know.
No, you absolutely have. But then again, Tipsy Tiger, it's a name that people automatically connect with something maybe alcoholic or something that is
Right.
wrong for you. So when it comes to that, what about like later when you are done with your digital marketing? I'm sure you will have campaigns which are festive or other kinds of
Right.
campaigns. Do you have a figure, a brand ambassador planned for this brand?
Um, Not right now. I'll be very honest. Because see, the thing is that the image of being connected to alcohol, uh, we don't really mind that. Secondly, like our entire portfolio, like all of our mixers are great as mocktails. You can just open the bottle and have them as is, or add a little bit of ice or soda, or however. Uh, and as a brand, we don't promote the consumption of alcohol, otherwise like that. So
Okay.
but as I don't we don't that is something that doesn't bother me.
Okay.
And as far as a brand ambassador is concerned, if we stumble upon the right opportunity with the right kind of person, why not? See, for us, having building a mascot was I think the best thing that could have happened to us. So that's another story. So we worked with this amazing creative agency called Thought Over Design, and when we wrote the brief for Tipsy Tiger with them, I had this. As a youngster, I used to love Fido Dido from Seven Up. And I used to think that, okay, this guy's so cool. When I was a kid, I used to think that this guy's so cool. And, like Sevena would do these music campaigns, and Dido would, turn up, and the animated character it was. So I just felt that for for our brand to have a soul, uh, we need to have a mascot. And I guess it was the brilliance of the team at Thought Over Design where they came back and there was a brainstorming session happening, and they were like, you know, we don't need a hero, because Tipsy Tiger as a brand also isn't the hero with all the answers. He's just a friend who's at a bar or at your home who gets what you are, what you're going through in your life. So why not you be the tiger? So when you drink the picante or the fresh lime soda, for a minute, Tipsy Tiger will help you take a break from the entire world, from whatever is happening in your life. And we're not going to help you, solve your problems. We're just going to, help you get through the day.
That's nice. So, last but not the least, you already mentioned that you have plans to, not go thin line across the country, but slowly and steadily build your brand across the country. So, for the next, I am assuming that this is your plan for the next 3 to 5 years, or
Oh
are there
no, no,
more?
no, no. That is strictly speaking in the current scenario. So we are actively now looking to. We are in a position where we feel that we are ready to raise some capital.
Okay.
Um, so if things go our way, then the plan is to conquer the metros by the end of the next 2 quarters. So it's a massive, massive market, and the low and the zero sugar category overall has been doubling every year. And while the base was very small, but um, I am 1,000% sure that this is going to be a massive category, and we have big plans. We look to go much further beyond the metros as well. So I guess the next 1 year plan would be to be in all metros, and then the subsequent year we'll start doing the we'll have to look at venturing out in retail and go after the larger pie of the market.
That is lovely, and all the best for you for that.
Thank you.
And I am always looking forward to your drinks.
Absolutely, and it's so nice to hear that.